I was, as she says, pulling presents out from every place, closets and dresser drawers and everywhere.
And Norma was Daddy's younger sister.
Yes,
She
yeah.
was just 6 years older than I
Yeah.
was. And
She got a big kick out of thinking she was grown up, because there was no one at home anymore to do, to surprise. So she got a kick out of that.
And thinking about the Christmases then, can you think about the time when you were a child, and did you have your grandmother Sarah Ann Tiefeteller McPhee with you at any time at Christmas that you can remember when you were
I'm sure
younger?
we did, but I can't remember Grandma in particular. It may be more times by Christmas she would have gone back to Aunt Minnie's or Aunt Hattie's.
I see.
She liked to spend the summers with us.
Because you lived on the farm.
Yeah.
And she liked to be there.
Now, I can remember her before we went on the farm in St. Louis, but I don't particularly remember her on Christmas Eve. I don't know.
Tell us a little bit about Sally Ann. That's what they called her, wasn't it?
She was Sally.
Sally. Sally, and how she met her husband, who was Thomas Plummer McPhee.
I don't know exactly anything about their very first meeting. He came from Reading, Pennsylvania, and I think he was just going west. And why he stopped at St. Louis and how he met her, I don't know. She lived on what was called the Walker Farm. Her mother was pronounced Helen Walker. And we always thought they were mispronouncing Helen, that her name was Helen, because we've had several Helens in the family since. But I know a lady now whose name is Helon, Helon. It's a man's biblical name. And it just may be that her name was Helon and not Helen.
Where was the Walker farm?
Down near Benton, Illinois.
Oh, down in southern Illinois.
Yes. So I don't know by what route or how he traveled from Pennsylvania that far, or just where they met. They were both only 18 when they were married.
And then he established several different kinds of businesses throughout his life, didn't he?
Yes, I know of a couple. I know they had a hardware store and a tavern. I think they called it a saloon in Venice.
Well, I know one of the stories that people like to hear about is the one where you talk about the way she took care of the money in the saloon.
Well, she never worked in the saloon or anything like that. But in those days, stores didn't close at 5 or 6 o'clock. They were probably open, even the hardware store, 10 o'clock at night. And I don't know how much income they had, but they didn't want to keep it in the store. And she would go down at night, gun in one hand and a bag of money in the other, and walk down the streets. The streets were dark. Mother said, as she remembers, when they first put in gas lights, and the kids then would congregate out on the street corner and play ring games, and things.
So, so she was a pretty good shot, was she not?
Oh, yes. They said she could shoot a toothpick off a stump when she was riding a horse at a full gallop.
And what was the story that came out much later about her having a shot a man?